Hi guys, it's your girl Lydiah Mpyisi here back again with another educational, motivational and inspiring video. If you're new to this channel, please feel welcomed. I am glad to have you and I hope you find my content encouraging as much as they have been inspiring to me and to my subscribers. And to you, my subscribers, thank you so much for your continued support. I'm glad to have you back again. So today is a special episode and I have a special guest with me, Brianna.
Hi, thank you so much, Lydia, for having me. My name is Brianna, and so I have been a fan of your channel for a while. I definitely find it motivational and inspirational, and I wanted to get a chance to sit down with you and learn a little bit more about you as a person beyond just the videos and your channel. I know you've been very busy, and that's why we haven't gotten a video as of recent.
Forgive me, you all.
But for good reason. But for good reason. So I just want to sit down and dig a little bit into who you are and what you've been having going on recently. Is that okay?
That's okay, and I definitely think that's a good idea because I know some of my subscribers would like to know who is this girl?
Yeah, who is this person behind the camera?
Yes.
So I think it probably would be really interesting for your subscribers to learn a little bit more about what inspires you to make your channel at all and why you named it Connecting the Dots.
Good question. So I had been thinking about starting a YouTube channel since 2015 when I was still in college, and the idea behind that was I like to learn, and I feel like if you learn something and you don't teach others, then it's pointless, or if you don't put it to use. So I was like, I need a platform where I can share the knowledge that I learned and help people become better versions of themselves, because that's always my mantra, I guess. I always want to try and do things that help me become a better version of myself, and learning is one of the ways in which I can do that. And so it took me a while because I didn't have the courage or the time rather, because I was still in school, to record videos, and also I didn't know like how to edit videos and all that stuff, so I was hesitant to start the channel. However, when we had to start working from home when Corona hit in 2020, I decided just to start recording, and I taught myself how to edit videos, and that's when I uploaded my first ever video. And to answer your second question about the theme of my channel being connecting the dots, I like to refer to the dots as experiences in our lives, right? And usually most of the time when you go through experiences, they don't make sense. Sometimes you go through lots of suffering or rejection and you don't understand why. But eventually, if you look back, things begin to make sense. You're like, oh, maybe I had to be rejected from that school so that I can get accepted to that school that is better for me or a better fit for me. And I got the phrase connecting the dots from Steve Jobs. And it's interesting because it came I heard about the phrase at a very interesting time in my life. I was going through so much relationship issues, school issues. I had been doing so well until graduating from college, and then all of a sudden things just started going downhill. And I guess I wasn't used to failing that much, right? So then failure just hit me different, and I didn't know how to really react or respond to it. But one time I was driving from work, and then I had actually, first of all, Steve Harvey's morning show, and he was just talking about why we do a disservice to God by minimizing his omnipotence or powerfulness and the things he can do to us. And he was like, if God created like the highest mountains like Everest or the sun and the moon, why do we think our problems are so big for him? We should just cast all our cares on him, you know, and be at rest. So that really inspired me, and was like, why am I stressing so much? And I'm God's child. And then when I went home, I just decided to start watching motivational videos, and I came across Steve Jobs' commencement speech at Stanford University, and he was talking about connecting the dots. And my favorite quote or phrase from him, he said, you cannot connect the dots looking forward, but you can connect the dots looking backwards. So it was like, you gotta trust in something. For me, I'm a Christian and I trust in God. So it's like, trust the process, trust in something, keep on going, and eventually the dots will connect. So that's why I decided that connecting the dots will be the theme of my channel.
Wow, that's awesome. I think what I'm hearing a lot of is like that retrospective, right? It's like we're looking back and we're kind of using the perspective that we got for the things that happened to us to kind of help us inform and be, more faith-filled in the future, right?
Exactly.
I remember there's a sermon that a pastor had about the hope cycle, and it talks about, each time you go through something, it gets a little bit more easier because you're more hopeful than you were before, and you're more faithful than you were before. And so when you were talking about connecting the dots and kind of almost questioning, like, why are these things happening and why am I experiencing challenge? It's like these things are kind of adding and creating more faith and increasing their hope. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and preparing you for what is to come in the future.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, for me, it gives me so much peace and like calmness, I guess, because I used to stress out so much about everything, and my sister kept on telling me, stop being a perfectionist, and I didn't understand at the time what it meant. Yeah, but just the idea of, like Steve Jobs says, trust the process, trust in something. Like I said, for me, trust in God. Like I rest assured knowing that whatever I'm going through, there's a reason for it, and eventually it will make sense to me, and I'll be able to connect the dots. It's like putting together pieces of the puzzle, and eventually you get the bigger picture.
Right.
And so if I connect it back to my inspiration for creating the channel, it's like, okay, when I learn something, then I need to share it with others. And I feel like with knowledge, if you get to learn more, let's say about spirituality, for instance, or mental health, for instance, right? It's like, if you get to learn about, okay, maybe my childhood experiences will affect how I'm reacting or dealing with issues right now, then if you have that knowledge, you'll be able to like self-reflect or look back and try and connect the dots while you're reacting the way you are, things like that. Does it make sense?
No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And that type of mindset will carry you through so much. Yeah,
hopefully.
That's awesome.
So far, yes.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I think it's helpful not only, for the current, but for the future. I think the world is so unpredictable right now. So if you have just like your own way of dealing and your own way of figuring it out, through you, it's sharing.
Yeah.
And being able to be, have a platform to share that knowledge and share the dots that you're connecting with the world. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So when you think about all the perspective that you're gaining, the motivation behind creating your YouTube channel, what were your challenges? What was hard about it?
Well, first of all, like I mentioned earlier, I had no experience recording, editing, or producing, content out there. So that was a big challenge. It is still a challenge, right? Given my professional whatever career, I don't have enough time to really learn about production and take time to edit the videos, and that can explain why it's been a while since I published a video, because I've been busy at school. So I'm still trying to figure out how I will condense it and make it more relatable to my viewers, and so that it's not just a waste of time to come and watch. I want, like, anytime somebody comes to my channel and they watch something, they feel rejuvenated, they feel like encouraged, inspired, and motivated to keep on moving and to keep on like having the motivation to make themselves a better version of who they are, so that we make the world a better place.
I love that. I love that. And sometimes that sounds like a large feat, right? To be able to say, I want to be the person that changes it. So kudos to you for taking those steps, right?
Yeah.
That's, trying something new. Like you said, I had no experience with creating content and getting it out there, and I didn't know what the response would be. So I think that's awesome. Well, you hinted at it a little bit. What's been keeping you busy for the last few months or more, right? With medical school. So I think it would really be interesting, not only for myself, but for your subscribers, just to hear a little bit more about what you've been up to and medical school and finishing your first semester and all of that. How's that?
Okay, that's a good question, and I'm gonna let us take a break and we'll get back to that in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe.